Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse here on the Bible Forum. We're here every Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here to look at life through a biblical lens and generally solve all the world's problems in 2 hours or less. Tonight I want to talk to you about the Second American Civil War. This is an article that came to us from a fellow named Jack Minzy. Minzy was Department of Education at Eastern Michigan University. He's also been a prolific author of numerous books, most of which were on the topic of education and the government's role therein. His interest in conservative politics is exceeded only by his intellectual ability, and with this interest, he writes on the implications of the Mueller investigation in Washington, D.C., in terms of how civil wars happen. So, how do they happen? Well, two or more sides disagree on who's going to run the country. They can settle the question through elections because we have an electoral system. But they choose not to do that because they can't even agree that the elections are how you decide who's in charge. And that's the basic issue. Who decides who runs the country? When you hate each other, but you accept the election results, you have a country. When you stop accepting the election results, you're in a countdown to civil war. The Mueller investigation is about removing President Trump from office and overturning the results of an election. Of course, that's not news, but it's not even the first time they've done this. The first time a Republican president was elected this century, they said he didn't really win. Remember George W. Bush and the Florida recount? It was the Supreme Court that gave him the election. And there sets the pattern. What do the sure odds of the Democrats rejecting the next Republican president really mean? And believe me when I tell you, they are rejecting Trump. You see it every day. Well, it means they don't accept the results of any election they don't win. It means they don't believe that transfers of power in this country are determined by elections. And that, my friends, is what is called a civil war. Now, so far, the war has not been fought with guns. So far. There's no shooting, unless you count the attempted murder of a bunch of Republicans at a charity baseball game practice. But rest assured, the Democrats have rejected our system of government. Now, that is not just simply dissent. That isn't just simply disagreement. You can hate the other party. You can think they're the worst thing that ever happened to the country. But if that's all you do, you work harder to win the next election. But when you consistently reject the results of elections you don't win, what you're asking for, what you want the most, is a dictatorship. Of course, you want your own dictatorship. The only legitimate exercise of power in this country, according to Democrats, is their own. Whenever Republicans exercise power, it is inherently illegitimate. The Democrats lost Congress, they lost the White House. So what do? They begin trying to run the country through federal judges and bureaucrats. Every time a federal judge issues an order saying the President of the United States can't scratch his own back without the judge's say-so, that's civil war. Our system of government is based on the Constitution, but that's not the system that runs this country. The Democrat system is that any part of government that it runs gets total and unlimited power over the country. Republicans, none. If the Democrats are in the White House, then the president can do pretty much anything he wants. He can have his own amnesty for illegal aliens, for example. He can fine you for not having health insurance. His power is unlimited, which is a definition of a dictator. But when Republicans get the White House, suddenly the president can't do anything. He isn't allowed to even undo the illegal alien amnesty that his predecessor illegally invented. A Democrat in the White House has discretion to completely decide every aspect of immigration policy. A Republican has no discretion, not even the discretion to reverse himself. And that's how the game is played. And sadly, that's how our country is being run. Although the left has yet to win that particular fight, they're not giving up. When a Democrat is in the White House, states aren't even allowed to enforce immigration law. But when a Republican's in the White House, states can create their own immigration laws. Under Obama, a state wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom without asking permission. But under Trump, Jerry Brown in California can go around saying that California is an independent republic and sign treaties with other countries. Of course, the Constitution does have something to say about that. Whether it's federal, state, executive, legislative, or judiciary, the left moves power around to run the country. If it controls an institution, then that institution is suddenly the supreme power in the land. That's what is called a moving dictatorship. Donald Trump has caused the shadow government to come out of hiding. Professional government is a guild. And like medieval guilds, you can't serve in it if you're not a member. If you haven't been indoctrinated into its arcane rituals, you aren't in the club. And trust me, Trump is not in the club. He's also brought in a bunch of people who aren't in the club. Now we're starting to see what the pros do when amateurs try to walk in on them. They spy on them. They investigate them. They send them to jail. They use the tools of power to bring them down. Those don't happen in a free country. It's not a free country when FBI agents who support Hillary take out an insurance policy against Trump winning the election. It's not a free country when Obama officials engage in massive unmasking of the opposition. It's not a free country when the media responds to the other guy winning by trying to ban the conservative media that supported him from social media. It's not a free country when all of the above collude together to overturn an election because the guy who wasn't supposed to win did. Have no doubt, we are in a civil war between conservative volunteer government and a leftist Democrat professional government. And it is yet to be seen where this is going to take us. We do have a president in the White House who is no wallflower. He will step up, stand up, speak out. And that's a recipe for more very interesting battles.